Well, the dust has settled and it's still as painful the day after as it was the night before. Losing to Manchester United last night hurt, and hurt a lot. It was one of those games where we went into finally expecting to really roll Manchester United over. One of the worst Manchester United sides in Premier League history, and we failed again. And I don't know what this is about Newcastle United. In these big game situations, we never seem to get there. Never seem to get the job done, whether it's a cup final or it's a league position. It's still not over yet, of course. It all goes down to the last day, but it should never have been in that situation anyway. But we'll come on to the big game mentality a bit later, because what I want to talk about now is Anthony Gordon and what he had to say about VAR last night. I'm going to play the interview. The interview was given as soon as he came off the pitch, but he had time to see the incident again. So this is what Anthony Gordon had to say.
How are you? Because you've really sort of hobbled in here, and we had a shot, I think, during the second half of half your sock missing. So we know when it happened. Firstly, how are you?
Really sore. I'm not too sure how good my ankle will be, but I mean, I've watched the incident back. It's a clear penalty. I don't mind the referee getting it wrong on the pitch, because it's a difficult decision. You know, things happen really quickly. But I don't understand what the point of VAR is then, because it's there to correct mistakes. He goes down my Achilles and pushes me in the back, and then Casemiro come against the ball, but it's 2 fouls before that. So I honestly don't see the point in it.
So can you just tell us, at that time, is it quite clear to you, even in that split second, like what's happened? Casemiro hasn't fouled you, but Amrabat has.
Yeah, I knew straight away. That's why I didn't appeal, because I thought, I don't mind the referee not giving it, like, it's fast, but I'll wait for the VAR to check, and you can see me telling my teammates, don't worry, it's a penalty, it's a clear penalty.
Right.
And then we carry on, and I'm just like, me sock, I've got no sock left, so how can it be possible? I don't understand the point of it. I really don't.
It's very so it's very topical for you to say you don't understand the point of VAR, because it's been in the news today. I don't know if you've had time to see.
No.
You've been playing a vote between the Premier League clubs on whether it's scrapped or not.
Okay.
So I know it's not up to you, but what's your view? You know, you're playing the league. You're a big player in it.
It's a big decision, but I just think I'm actually quite fond of it. But it's just,
I've never heard anyone else say that.
not in terms of like I'm fond of the idea. It should be a thing that works in the league, but it's not. There's constantly too many mistakes. I mean, like I said, we've missed too many chances there to blame anything else, but we could go 1-0 up and then the game changes. It's a clear and obvious mistake. Just, I don't know how you can get it wrong. So either get rid of it or get better. It's very simple.
So there you go. That's what Anthony Gordon said after the incident and when he came off the pitch last night. Clearly still very upset, and rightly so. Because if you look at the incident again, as Anthony Gordon states there in his interview, Amrabat runs his studs right down the back of his Achilles, gives him a little nudge, and before Casemiro even makes the challenge, Anthony Gordon has already fallen. So Casemiro comes in, wins the ball. That's not the issue. The issue is Amrabat's tackle on him, which goes right down the back of his Achilles, totally rips his sock open. And you're guaranteed Anthony Gordon will have a very, very sore Achilles this morning. And hopefully it's not too bad or swells up that he's got to miss the game on Sunday, because by God, we need him. But he goes on to state there in the interview that he actually says to his teammates, don't worry, it's a penalty. Which is why he didn't go chasing after the referee. He knew the VAR would relook at that situation, and he was 100% convinced that they would overturn, tell the referee to go to the screen, and then give the penalty. And then to his astonishment, nothing is given. Nothing. And you've got to start questioning now. It's happened to every club. Whether you think teams benefit from it or don't benefit from it, these sort of decisions happen to all the teams in the Premier League. It's run perfectly in Europe and places like that. Yet the Premier League, with these bunch of incompetent morphos, right, who haven't got a clue what they're doing, ruining our football game, completely spoiling it. But it was interesting that he said in the interview that he is quite pro VAR, because if it's run by the right people and done in the right way, it will help the game of football. And that's why VAR was so, badly wanted, I guess, before it did come in. Because it would take away these difficult decisions. You could go back and look at someone and say, yep, we got that wrong. We'll overturn it right now. Boof. But it doesn't happen like that, because these guys are taking 6-7 minutes to make a simple decision that's right in front of them. or they get it wrong. And it gets to the point where it affects teams' league positions, and we know how much money's involved in the Premier League for each league position, or worse still, get them relegated. And we know that we've got this vote coming in to see if the Premier League clubs would look at scrapping VAR. We'll see what happens with that. But that isn't the vote to say yes or no for VAR. It's to see if the clubs would agree with possibly scrapping VAR. So I don't know what will happen with that. But I generally don't know where to take this with VAR anymore. I just think, I kind of look and think somebody else has to come in and take over VAR. Not these referees, not these incompetent fools. It has to be somebody else, an independent somebody to come in. And that's what I want to ask you guys out there. What would you do? If VAR stays, I know that there's a potential of it being scrapped, but if it stays, what would you change about it? What would you do to make it better and run in the right way? Because we see it being run really well in European countries. I don't see why it can't be the same over here. But then again, right, let's look at offside decisions. I think they need to go back to, if there's daylight there, he's offside. Just make it simple. Why complicate the game? It doesn't make sense. And by complicating the game, you're making it worse. And the fact that you see these goals flying in left, right and centre, players don't know how whether to celebrate or not. But anyway, let me know what you think, because I'm at a loss. I've spoken about VAR many times in the past, and I'm at a complete loss as to where we go with this as football fans, or as the beautiful game, because it's not the beautiful game when VAR are involved with these incompetent muppets sitting behind television screens. Also, I wanted to touch on today, and this is going to be, the backs of people on the Eddie Howe fan club will instantly... however, I want to talk about big game mentality. And does our manager, first of all, have that big game mentality? And by that, what I mean is he ruthless enough? Because it seems to me like he mentioned on the Overlap interview with Gary Neville that the one thing that he hates doing is disappointing players. Now, that rang an alarm bell with me when you look at last night again, because you kind of look at the team lineup and then you look at the fact that he didn't make any changes at half time, when realistically it was calling for Joe Linton. And when you saw those substitutes being made, we did play a little bit better, to be fair. We were better once the substitutes came on. And then you're thinking, well, surely you start with your best side in a big game like this. It's a huge game. We need the points. Play your best players. And if they're not fit enough to play 90 minutes, that's fine. Take them off. But get the game won. Don't respond to going 2-1 down and struggling to get back in the game. Fighting to equalise or fighting to, whatever it may be. Don't do that. Get your best team out there. Get the game won and then get your players off for a rest. Because I'm not subscribing to the fact that, we have to be careful. We have to look after our players in case they get injured for next season. They could get injured for next season in pre-season, or they could get injured at home. They might slip or fall down the stairs. Just play your best side, man. There's 2 games to go in the season, or was last night before we played Manchester United. So all the players, most footballers now at this time of the season are all carrying knocks, bumps and bruises, right? But when there's something at stake still, you've surely got to go with your best side. Cher came on, looked fine. Joe Linton came on, looked fine. Miggy came on, looked fine. They weren't struggling with fitness at all. And then your mind boggles as to why he brings Trippier back, who's had 90 seconds of football since he came back from injury. Yet there's Joe Linton and Miggy still sitting on the bench who've been on as substitute twice and got minutes under the belt. It makes no sense. And I know Livramento was out last night, but he could have put Kraft to right back and started Fabian Schär. Right? No doubt about it in my mind. And this is what I mean about big game mentality. Is he frightened of letting certain players down? We've seen the issues with Longstaff over the season. He's been terrible. Yet Eddie says he's been injured most of the season, but he still played him week in, week out. And a lot of fans are now starting to see a little bit of a trend with playing the same players and without really thinking. Do you honestly think, right, the likes of Fergie, Wenger, Pep Guardiola, all the managers that are successful around the world, the top managers, that they're not ruthless? Because you can bet your bottom dollar they are. And they're not frightened to make changes to accommodate the team. Because last night, those changes needed to be made to accommodate the team for that fixture. Because there's 2 games left in the season, and we should have beaten Manchester United last night. Now, I'm not all putting it on the manager, because some of the players didn't show up. And that's a major problem as well, because some of these players don't seem to have the big game mentality when it really counts. But we've seen that with Newcastle for years. It's not just our players now. You know, the entertainers who blew a 12-point lead and things like that. You look back and think, why are we always blown these situations that we just can't finish the job? And it's frustrating. But a lot of people are now worried about Eddie Howe and whether he's got what it takes to be a ruthless elite manager. And I know he's done brilliantly for us. I'm not saying anything about what he's already done for us. But you have to look going forward. Eddie's come in and done brilliantly, got us out of relegation, got us into the Champions League. Brilliant. And I'm a big Eddie Howe fan. Everybody knows that. But does he have the big game mentality where he has to be ruthless and leave certain players out? Or is he too scared to upset them? And if that's the case, then we're in trouble, because we need a manager who is ruthless. You don't win anything without that kind of manager. And you look back at the Premier League winners or whoever in the past Champions League winners, they all have that kind of manager who is prepared to do everything and anything for the team, not the individual. And you look at Nick Pope's situation. Why on earth is Martin Dubravka still in this side? It's mental. And it just... He needs to come out and say why he keeps playing Dubravka as far as I'm concerned, because everybody is scratching their heads with that decision. But listen, this is just a conversation. I just want your comments after the video down in the comment section. What do you think? It's an adult conversation, guys, so don't go all happy-clappy on me and say, oh, you know, Eddie Howe's done this and he's been brilliant. I'm not talking about that. I'm asking the question whether you think Eddie Howe is ruthless enough to take Newcastle to the next level. That's what I'm asking. So let me know. But thank you very much for watching the video, guys. If you have enjoyed it, please do give it the thumbs up. And of course, if you're new to the channel and you like what you see, please do subscribe. It is free to do so. And of course, don't forget to hit the notification bell, which will let you know when we schedule our live shows or we upload any videos. If you're watching this on Thursday, don't forget 7 p.m. tonight live. We do the actual match review. We'll take a deeper dive. So me, Billy and Alex, and possibly Sam, if she's not away tonight, we'll look back on the game and, of course, give you our player ratings and see where it all went wrong. And it should be a very, very spicy show, as usual, after a defeat. So join us for that. But thank you very much for watching, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Take care.